Hi Courageous Widows, it's Denise Dealwhite again and welcome to my channel. I want to speak to you a little bit about something that's a bit different today. As you know, if you're new to my channel, you don't know who I am, I'm a widow. I lost my husband Martin very suddenly in 2009 to a blood clot, totally unexpectedly, out of the blue. There were no goodbyes, there was no I love yous or anything. I was only 51 and he was 55. So as you can imagine, oh boy, that sent me spinning. It really did. And since then, it's been a journey. It's been a one hell of a ride for me. I've helped others in grief. I've healed myself. I've grown myself. I've changed. We sometimes see that meme that's a caterpillar and then there's a butterfly, and somebody says to the caterpillar, "You've changed," and the butterfly says, "Yeah, we're meant to." So today, what I want to really speak to you about is helping other people. Now, I know for a lot of you that watch my channel and have known me for a long time, or that have even worked with me, would love to help other people heal and grow beyond their grief. And that is why I set up and I started and I created the Flow Grief Academy. So under one banner, we're the Flow Grief Academy. Now under that umbrella is to become a Flow Grief Release Practitioner. Now what is a Flow Grief Release Practitioner? Why even become a Flow Grief Release Practitioner? Well, I created my flow method, which is an acronym for feel, let go, overcome, and become whole, after I struggled to heal myself. And I realized when I reverse engineered back how I healed and how I healed myself so quickly, because talk therapy wasn't helping me. Nothing like that was helping me. I was seeing a psychologist at the time. And I was seeing a grief therapist. I was talking to people. I had joined groups. I was reading books, and nothing was helping me. And that's when I went, you know what, I've got to heal me. So that's a little bit about my journey. My book, Courageous Widows, Turn Your Grief into Growth, goes through the whole flow method. So I highly recommend that you get the book if you want to know more about the flow grief release method and how you too can start your healing journey. But for today, I want to talk about you helping other people heal. How can you help others heal? Now, it's all very well to say, oh, I'll start a group and we can all talk about it. And it doesn't work. Groups don't work because that's talk therapy. We cannot talk our way out of grief. We cannot talk our way out of pain. We have to take action. What is that action? That action is learning to love ourselves, learning to go within, learning who we are now, reinventing. It's really reinventing and reimagining our life. Now you'll notice both those words start with reinventing and reimagining. We can't just from a standstill point and go, well, okay, this is it, I'm done, I'm going to do this now, I'm just going to be healed, I'll wake up tomorrow morning, I've waited for enough time now, and everything's going to fall into place. It doesn't work that way. So as a flow grief release practitioner, you learn the techniques, you learn the flow method, you learn it backwards, you learn it inside out, you learn how to hold space for people in grief that are not feeling their feelings, that are keeping themselves busy, that are denying their feelings, that are saying, I'm okay. Like we did. I did it, and I'm sure you did it as well in the beginning. And I know a lot of my clients, most of my clients do that as well. So as a flow grief release practitioner, you are helping your clients move through all of that stuff, all of the stories they tell themselves. You are taught how to help them. Just as a side note, I also created a modality which is interwoven into the training called GNR. Now, what is GNR? GNR stands for Grief Neuro Repatterning. What is grief neuro repatterning? Well, as you know, our mind and our brain changes in grief. Grief changes us because of the chemicals and the hormones and everything that's pulsating through our bodies when we're grieving. And that in turn changes our brain. It changes how we think. That's why we have widow fog, or we have brain fog, or we feel as though we're in la la land, we're not coping, we feel as though we're just surviving. It's because the chemicals in our brain are being sent from our body, from every cell in our body, and that's throwing it out of whack. So what GNR is grief neuro-repatterning. We have to give our brain different messages. We have to repattern the brain out of grief. It's not just your normal, okay, think differently, be positive. There's a lot more psychology and a lot more that goes into that. So GNR is interwoven throughout the whole of the flow method and the flow grief release method and the program. Yeah, the certification program. So it's not just a quick how to help people in grief program. It's an actual certification where you certify as a certified grief release practitioner so that you can then set up your own practice and help others worldwide release their grief. With the knowledge and the safety of knowing that you have been trained in so many modalities on how to shift and how to move people through their grief. Because what happens when we lose somebody so special, when we lose our husband, when we lose a child, when we lose somebody so special to us, is that our brain shuts down and it starts wiring in all different directions. So you as a grief release practitioner, you using GNR, you help that brain come into coherence again. So you help that client sort out all that stuff in their brain. We cannot do that on our own. And that is why people get triggered years later. That's why people never really get over the loss of a child or the loss of a husband, and they stay stuck in grief. It's an amazingly rewarding career. It really is. And, I've been doing this work now for 15 years, just over 15 years, and I love it. I love every minute of the day. There's nothing more rewarding than when you have a client that's been stuck for maybe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and eventually they reach out, and within the very first call, they have a major shift. They have a major aha moment. And so much baggage has been released. And you can actually see it in their physiology, in their face, everywhere. You can just see that, oh my goodness, they've put that baggage down. So if you want to know more about becoming a flow grief release practitioner, I highly recommend that you book a call with me. Let's talk about how you can help somebody else. Because there's nothing more rewarding than going through the fire with grief and then reaching out to help somebody else, but having the right tools to help somebody else, having the right method to help somebody else, knowing which tool to use at which time, because that's very important as well. So with grief neuro-repatterning, we are repatterning how your client sees the world, from grief to joy. So reach out to me if you want to know more. There's a video that I'll put up here. If you have a look up here, there's a video there that explains more. Bye for now.